This week on the podcast, we are joined by Left Side. We talk Halo Infinite, updates around Activision, Blizzard, as well as Ubisoft. And of course, we have Deals of the Month. All of that and more in this week's episode. Roll the intro. You know what's funny is I say roll the intro like there's someone else that would do it, but it's all me. It's all me.
You do all the work.
Hello, and welcome to Next to Nothing, a podcast for gamers on a budget. I am your host, Danny K. With me, as always, the wonderful, the beautiful, the Mr. Green Elite, sporting a new look today. How you doing, Green?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I spent the last couple days getting my studio. I like to, in quotation, studio set up. Which is funny because I would take like one item up the stairs, and then I'd watch an episode of Harley Quinn, and then I would take another thing up the stairs, and then watch an episode of Harley Quinn. So yeah, it was a 3-day process of me being completely lazy. But yeah, how you doing, Danny?
I'm doing really well. I'm a little tired, but that's just how it goes. With us this week, he's going to take the title of the powerful and the beautiful. It's Left Side. Left Side, welcome back to the show. How are you doing, dude?
I'm exhausted. I just got done moving to a new house, bought a new house, sold a new house in this market, which was crazy. Did about 3 months of remodeling and redoing floors and everything to get it to sell at its highest possible selling point, and moved everything in 90-degree weather with 60% humidity in about a day and a half. So,
oofta.
Other than that, I'm great. New house is great. Yeah.
So, real important question for you here regarding your move is, does your new place have an AC? Because that sounds like you need an AC.
It's got zoned AC. I got 2 air conditioners, one for upstairs, one for down.
Hot damn.
Damn, that is fancy.
They're really old air conditioners, though. They're the original built with the house. So they're like 15, 20 years old, but I'll fix them if they break.
Damn, dude. Damn. So, Left Side, for those who haven't met you before, who are you? What do you do? And where can people find you?
Hello, I'm Left Side. Or Jason, but not both at the same time. I stream on Twitch. I stream mainly Destiny and Apex and 7 Days to Die, games like that. I am working on my master's degree in graphic design and trying to finish that. That's probably another 2 years out. So sometimes I do art streams as well. You can find me on Twitter at left_SYDE or on Twitch at leftside, no underscore. Think. Look up Left Side, LEFTSYDE, and you will find me on most socials and especially on Twitch, but mainly there. That's where I do most of my talking and most of my communicating.
Dope. Guys, we appreciate you for watching and listening. If this is your first time with us, we hope that you enjoy and get a lot of value out of this show. Every week we have a question of the week. This week, our question is brought to us by Left Side, and it's a doozy. This one, I think there might be a lot of controversy in the chat and in the YouTube comments on this one. Pancakes or waffles? Pancakes or waffles?
I expect fist fights with this one.
Yeah. Bonus points, you also get to tell us like what you put on them. Jam, syrup, blueberry syrup, maple syrup, pecan. Right? There's a lot of debate that needs to happen here.
My life changed when I put peanut butter on a pancake and then put maple syrup on top.
It's so good, isn't it?
Oh, it's the best. That's the only way I eat pancakes. Sometimes I do have to say boysenberry syrup if you can find it. But peanut butter and maple syrup is primo.
So let us know in the chat comments, or you can tweet at us. You can tweet at me at Danny K, DANIECAE. And let's also remind you guys that we do have our 3-year giveaway that's going on right now. This year, we're doing a meme contest. This is the last week to get entered in the meme contest. Next week, we are going to announce the winner. So all you have to do is create a meme related to the podcast and use the hashtag NTN and the number 3, and the creator of a favorite meme will get a $60 gift card to the platform of their choice, and runner-up will get a free mug from this year's merch lineup. Again, this is your last week, and there is unlimited amount of times you can create as many memes as you want. Just has to be related to the podcast. Put it on Twitter. Hashtag NTN and the number 3. Make sure that your Twitter settings allow us to see you, and the creator of our favorite meme will get a $60 gift card to the platform of their choice, and runner-up will get a free mug from this year's merch lineup. Of course, guys, if you miss any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, and wherever podcasts are found. Other than that, I don't think there was much else that we needed to mention this week, Green, was there?
Not that I can think of.
All
Although,
right.
like, if someone could make my head like impossibly large compared to my body, I think that would be a shoe-in for the number 1 spot.
There's lots of ideas people can go out there with, like how I look baby-faced still from my
Imposter Danny.
Yes, from my accidental shaving. All right, well, are you guys ready to kind of get into the meat and potatoes here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Left side, you come to us with 2 games. Let's start out with Halo Infinite.
So I've been a Halo fan for the longest time. That was pretty much the first game I fell in love with was Halo 1 on the Xbox. Stepping off the Pillar of Autumn into this big open world when I was used to the N64 at that time, and like Super Smash Bros. And GoldenEye and all these other games or things are kind of small and not as open. And then Halo kind of veered off with 4 and 5. It didn't feel very Halo. It felt like they were trying to go more Call of Duty route. The gameplay didn't feel as good. Multiplayer in 5 was pretty awesome, but it also just didn't feel like Halo because there was so much movement. You had this like thruster pack dash and all that. But with Halo Infinite, 343 is finally going back to the roots of what made Halo great. With just the beta, it felt very Halo. It felt like a mix of Halo 3 with the modernization of 5 without taking away that core gameplay that made Halo Halo. Bot matches was the big thing this weekend that they were testing. Bots are actually pretty tough. If they locked on you, you were dead. So and I'm also bad at video games, but that's beside the point. But the core gameplay felt good. I did get to play some PvP against other people, and I will say the fact that 343 is going to be giving away their multiplayer for not giving away, but letting people play it for free on both PC and Xbox whenever they decide to release it is going to be huge because it's very fun. It feels very good, and classic Halo fans will enjoy it. Well, I think it will also bring in a lot of new people because as BRs keep coming out and churning content, as Warzone has a ton of cheaters, a lot of problems with Blizzard at the time, Activision. Halo's hitting just at the right time. An arena shooter with custom game modes like Infection, Griffball. If you don't know what Griffball is, it's like 4v4, smack each other around with hammers, try and dunk the ball in the other team's goal. Rocket Race, which is you're on a 4-wheeler with a rocket launcher driving to checkpoints. It's very fun. It's a very good time. I'm hoping to see a little bit more of the social gameplay because it was real sweaty this weekend. It was all the people who wanted to be in the beta. People have been Halo fans for a long time, and I got destroyed. But it was still it felt like Halo. The weapons sounded good. There were a few small things here and there that just were not great. The UI needs a lot of work. But if you're looking for a free game to play and you're looking for a shooter, they're still updating the Master Chief Collection. So 343 is still updating that older game. They're adding new playlists. They're adding new cosmetics. They have season passes. And yet they're still doing work on Halo 5. Full force now because obviously they're getting close to final release. So I have nothing but praise and accolades after 4 and 5 were miserable at launch. And even MCC had a bad launch. So maybe Infinite struggle a little bit, but they're doing a lot of flights, they're doing a lot of testing, they're figuring things out. And so far, I have nothing but hope that and I think it's justified after playing the flights that it's going to be a good game and it's going to take off.
Yeah, so I have a few questions here. First being, so the multiplayer is coming out free for Xbox and PC, like you mentioned. Yeah. Do you foresee this really being like the next big game for PC players? Do you see this being the next Warzone or the next I don't even know what's currently like on the top of like the Twitch list. Maybe like the next Valorant or something like that. Do you see this being like that next big competitive game?
I see it being up there, but not necessarily as high as like League of Legends has dominated Twitch for the longest time because of its competitiveness and its esports scene. I see just from the little bit of play that I got that it could definitely be an esport. It's very competitive. It's very fair. It felt very balanced. One thing that I will mention is like a lot of people were concerned about the grappling hook and equipment being overpowered because you can like just throw down this shield wall, but it takes time to deploy. It was less of a panic button and more of a you had to strategically use it and say, okay, I know there are enemies around this corner. I need to deploy this and then use it strategically rather than, oh crap, people are shooting me. Let me throw this down. So that felt really good. It did feel fair and balanced, and I could see it being maybe not League of Legends or even Fortnite, but maybe more kind of where Apex Legends sits right now. It's in the top like 2 rows of Twitch most days. So, but I do see, because I mean, Master Chief Collection, there's a custom games lobby viewer that you can go into, and there's still at any given time during the day 30 to 40 games that you can pick from of people playing custom games together. So I definitely see it if Forge becomes a big thing. I see it taking off in a big creative mode. And if they keep supporting it for free, I mean, sky's the limit with the game right now. It's a great arena shooter from the little bit I got to play.
Yeah. So you mentioned some stuff there, and I kind of forgot about how, and I've never been a big Halo fan. So this didn't really stand out to me when I first saw it, but they added equipment, right? Like abilities and loadout. How, as someone who is a longtime Halo fan, how is that addition making you feel overall?
Most of it's really good. Some of the new weapons are kind of interesting. Didn't really like them at first, but there's going to be growing pains with any new game and any new weapons. Like I said, it still feels like Halo, but I think it will feel new enough and not. Halo's always been known for being slow and not having a sprint button. Back in the day, that's what Halo was. This doesn't feel like CS:GO with the ability to jump. This does feel, like I said, modern Halo. So it still has that strategic movement. It still has a slightly slower pace, but I think it's will draw in people who didn't like Halo before. They might like it now, especially with it being on PC. Mouse and keyboard felt really good. And I don't know if that's a deterrent for some people to not liking Halo. Maybe they were only PlayStation fans, etc. But I think equipment's fine. I think it's fair and balanced, and I think with the new because when you play a BR right now, there's no social game modes. There's no sit back and chill and just have fun with your friends and laugh. Drive a vehicle to the other side of the map and blow up. Battlefield might accomplish that, but I haven't played that yet, so I can't speak for it. But the big team battle and the potential for this game to have true Friday night shenanigans when playing with your buds is also really good. So it could fill a void right now of not really having a social shooter to play and everything being kind of sweaty or you just have a bad time.
Yeah, I think the biggest competition it's going to have, in my mind, especially if it keeps up its momentum, is Splitgate. Because a lot of people like return to Splitgate, and they're essentially saying it's Halo with Portal.
Have you played it?
I played it when it first came out.
I did too, and I don't think it. Again, there's no social aspect to Splitgate. Splitgate's pretty competitive. When when you play Splitgate, you're kind of playing to win. It's not really like I said, like Rift Ball, or there's a Halo mode called Jump Rope where you spawn up top, 10 people spawn, 8 people spawn top, 8 people spawn bottom, and the people on bottom can't move, and the people on top just drive vehicles at them, and you just jump over them. That's Jump Rope. So you're just driving down this massive ramp with a giant tank, flinging yourself at the enemy at Mach 5, trying to kill him. Like, no game really has that. It doesn't have that stupid fun mode where you just queue up and the whole time you're just crying, laughing. You're not even trying to get kills. You're just holding boost in one direction, but it's great. But Splitgate is a very good game. We could talk about that another time because I did get to play it. It's just not for me. I don't like the portal aspect of it. I just want the straight up shooting aspect. Kind of like Fortnite with building.
Yeah.
I don't want to build. I just want to play Warzone, or I want to play a gun. I want to play a game where I just shoot. I don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we've touched Splitgate in over a year. It's on my list of games to go back to. That in the cycle.
Yeah.
But so you think this could be like that more casual experience for people, which I think you're right. We are sorely missing that kind of experience right now, especially in PC gaming. There's not like really anything with TDMs or anything that's super lighthearted or honestly, and this is not maybe the right way to say it, but nothing that's super creative, right? Like there's not a ton of like interesting game modes in these free to play games. And a lot of the games right now are very, very, very competitive, and they want to be esports, and so they design themselves to be esports. And it's kind of nice to hear that there's more to Halo Infinite's multiplayer than just being an esport. That they do add some different modes.
They talked about it in an interview, and I can't remember his name right now, but he said we're not launching a BR at start, but you could go into Forge and make your own BR battle royale if you wanted to. And in Halo 4, excuse me, people went in and made Rust. Like they made a Rust type game mode where you level up and you unlock things. And you're literally playing Rust inside of Halo. And in Forge, in Halo 5, they created a working raid encounter from Destiny 2. So it had mechanics, it had elevators that went up and down when you triggered them. It had all these programmed attributes that made this really complex thing inside of a map creator tool inside of Halo. And they said that Forge is going to be an equally big part of this game. I mean, people made pianos that worked and played different notes. Like, hey, Forge is going to be big, and the Forge community is still alive and well. Not thriving. It's kind of on life support, but it's still there. So that could be a lot of fun too. And I think there's a lot of potential to recapture kind of that. A lot of players who are fatigued, players who are tired of every time you get into a PvP game, it's like chat's saying, you can't have fun. That's not allowed. Sweat or don't. Win or it's not worth it. I'd like to see a little bit more of that social experience come back.
Excellent. Green, anything you wanted to ask or mention?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. I'm excited to actually get my hands on Halo. I'd never even tried to get into like the flights or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been kind of disconnected with the franchise since I went through six Xbox 360s in my youth. I played the shit out of Halo 3 though. I loved Halo 3.
Yeah.
It feels like Halo 3 and 5. It does, and so you'll probably like it. But...
yeah, I think that's where my interest in Halo like really drove off, is when I played Halo 4. I borrowed someone's Xbox One, I think is when Halo 4 came out, just to play the campaign, because I was like really interested in continuing like the story of Halo, because Halo's story is great, especially when in 2 and 3, with like explaining like the back lore and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in trying it out, especially free multiplayer. I might actually pick up the whole game, just to
It's on
see
Game
the
Pass,
campaign.
so you can
Yeah.
play it on Game Pass. Halo Waypoint, sign up, get into a flight, see if you like it or not. That's my advice.
All right. Hell yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, playa.
So, Halo Infinite sounds like it's a game with infinite possibilities. Let's talk about New World, which we talked about last week, but let's get another perspective on it. Left side. Tell us a little bit about your experience with New World.
Let me pull up my Steam and see how much time I actually spent on it. If I still have it. Okay, so I played 61 hours over the course of like a week and 2 days of New World. Well, I think it's a very good game. I don't think it does anything exceptionally well, but I think it does everything well enough that they have a really good foundation. Amazon Games does. They have a good foundation to build off of, and it's kind of going to be wait and see unless you already love it. So if you're looking for a game to play with friends and you're looking for a decent little MMO, one thing it does exceptionally well is its sound. Very good sound design. But other than that, I played a lot with friends. I did a lot of the expeditions. I leveled up. Crafting was very fun. Exploring was a little tedious. The grind could get a little bit, meh here and there. Will it be the next big MMO? Probably not. It probably won't measure up to World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV. However, if we remember, Final Fantasy XIV started out and then they nuked literally everything and had a cataclysmic event because it was so bad at launch. Elder Scrolls Online was also pretty bad at launch. Star Wars: The Old Republic. These games have rocky launches. That feels like it's just part of being an MMO. And I read a comment that says New World is, just above decent. And then someone commented that just above decent is something that we see in an MMO every 10 years. And that's kind of true. You don't see a lot of MMOs like do everything just well enough. So I'm very excited to see what they do with New World. I've seen some potential leaks and things of things to come. And so my excitement's been kind of furthered for that. But I also have about 15 to 20 people who are interested, part of my Twitch community and other Twitch communities I'm part of, that want to play this game. And I think that's a big driving factor, is that my wife actually was interested in it too. So it caters to casuals. So you could level up completely 0 to 60, mining and farming if you wanted to. You could barely touch combat. You'd have to kill a few things when you go out to cut down a tree, whatever. But it lets you play an MMO in a way that most MMOs don't let you. You don't just have to quest and grind quests mindlessly for hours. You can just go fight stuff if that's what you want to do. That's fun too. So I appreciate that about it. Again, I don't think it does anything super exceptionally well, but I think it does everything right, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Right? Because it's not like buggy. It's not, from what I'm understanding, right? It's not like taking like the MMO formula and fucking up everything that people would like about it, right? I saw someone complain about it being grindy. Actually, it was a PC gaming review. A PC gaming review said that the grind was already starting to piss them off, which to me is like, isn't the point of an MMO to grind?
Yeah, that's literally the MMO like mainstay, is grind the shit out of like whatever you're doing.
So I've played WoW. I've played Elder Scrolls Online, Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy XIV, RuneScape, if we're going to name a few MMOs. And this felt less grindy than all of those. So I have no idea where the hell that review is coming from. Like, I would just be out mindlessly, because the combat is what draws me in, right? The combat isn't click on the thing, go through your rotation of spells, dodge a few attacks, click on the thing, do a rotation of spells. It's more like Dark Souls light. I wouldn't call it anywhere near Dark Souls combat because the AI is more scripted than reactionary. But when you have 20 people hitting the same target, it's hard to make it reactionary. I saw people complaining about the AI, and I'm like, there was one point in the map where outside of a city, we had 50 people just fighting each other in PvP, which is hilarious, by the way. It's not great, but it's funny. And everybody's just wailing on each other, and a boar stumbles into the fight and just gets slaughtered. Do you want that boar to react to all 50 people at the same time? That's next to impossible in the coding. But I've played all those, and out of all of them, the combat, if combat is the thing you're like, I just don't like this in an MMO, I can't stand it, try New World. Because combat was super fun. It gets a little boring, but like you just switch up weapons, you switch up how you play, and you can make it fresh. If you're just going to use the meta thing and be a meta slave, you'll probably won't have a good time.
So, I've got 2 questions for you. First off, what faction is the right faction? I'll let you answer that right now.
Oh, I'm still undecided on that. It's between Syndicate and Marauders, though. Syndicate has a better color. Marauders has a better theme.
Okay.
Marauders is green. Syndicate's purple, and purple's the best. So.
And then, so last week, our guest, Nine Baz, I would describe him as red, fiery hot on this game. He fucking loved it. He loves it. Where would you so you're saying you love it? Where would you describe yourself? Like if we're talking like hot, fiery, hot, cold, ice cold, lukewarm, like where on that scale would you say you're at right now with it?
The moment this drops, I'll probably do a 24-hour stream. Like I freaking love the game. I can put a ton of time into it, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be critical and realistic of it. Mm-hmm. I had such a good time screwing around with buds, just doing I spent almost 2 hours, because you can go prone in this game. Like you can crawl on your belly, which you don't do in a lot of MMOs. I crawled around a city for 2 hours with a friend, giggling as we crawled butt naked around one of the towns. And people would start following the train. Like people would just jump in on the train, and we would just giggling as we all just, there was a train of like 5 or 6 people. None of us knew what we were doing or had an objective, but it was freaking hilarious. This cat struggling. 1 second. But no, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm a huge Destiny fan. I've got like an absurd amount of hours in that game, and I will probably not touch Destiny to play New World for at least a month, because I didn't even get to I got level 31 on 60 hours. So I'd have to double that time at least to get to level 60. And then doing endgame and making a build and all this other stuff that I think is fantastic. I'm also completely sold on the game. But I also want to temper people's expectations that you might not just like it as much as me. And that's fine. Here are the things to watch out for. Here are the things that might suck. Here are the things that I think are great. So.
No, we value all sorts of perspectives. Certainly on that. Anything else that you want to add to New World?
No.
All right. So from New World to a new season of Apex, Green, tell us about the Apex Legends update.
Yeah, so Apex dropped their new season. Man, I can't even think of the name of it now. Season 10 of Apex is here. It's called Emergence. They introduced a new legend today named Seer, and I have affectionately nicknamed him Lil Nas X, because I swear, like, everyone in the community thinks he's modeled after Lil Nas X. He has a few interesting powers. He's almost like a cross between Crypto and Bloodhound. His passive ability is when he's aiming down sights, he has like a heartbeat indicator of like people nearby that he can see on the screen. And then his tactical ability is he sends like a tunnel of like micro drones that will essentially show enemies on the map if they're in that zone, or show them on screen, almost like literally like Bloodhound did his scan, but then like the same outline as a crypto drone. So it can go through walls. It's essentially like a wall hack. And then for his ultimate ability, he throws like a sphere out, and that sphere, anyone in it that like moves, like runs, or if they're shooting their weapon, will also be like, you'll be able to see them. I think the best part about him though is that when he has someone detected, it also shows their health bar. Like it gives them a health bar. So you know exactly how many more shots you need to put into someone to take him out. Do I think he's any bit stronger than either Crypto or Bloodhound in their own respective rights? No. But it's like a good balance between the two. Um, not much else to him, uh, other than those different items. But they also introduced a new LMG today. It's called the Rampage. It's a heavy LMG that is a little bit slow firing, but you can also put a thermite grenade into it, and then it will shoot faster. And that thing has been a ton of fun, tons of fun. Um, I've been enjoying using that um, when I get my hands on it. And then the biggest change I think is the map. World's Edge has a few new areas, points of interest. I heard that the person who designed it is their first like actual time designing for a big game release, AAA game. Uh, and I think the map changes have been great. There's a few areas that are really similar because there's like a lava fissure going through, like the point of interest. And then there's like I keep wanting to call them zambonis, but they're the gondolas that go between them. And then there's like three tiers, three different levels of each of the sides of the building. So there's a lot of verticality to it. It can be kind of difficult when you're first going in to navigate, like, hey, how do I get up here? But I've been enjoying it a lot. Um, the biggest news is that the Spitfire actually got taken out of the game, though. It didn't get taken out of the game; it got put into care packages, so you can't pick it up off the ground. Which I think is their way of balancing, quote unquote, the gun. Um, and then they put the Prowler back into the ground loot. Now the Prowler does not have like a full auto option. It's strictly burst, but it still is extremely nasty. So I've been really enjoying using the Prowler again. But other than that, it's not like massive changes. Just the new legend and a new weapon. So
Yeah. So I do have questions about the new legend.
yeah.
Um, who does he combo well with? Right? Is he someone, the way you described him, I almost feel like he would match up well with like an Octane or maybe a Caustic. I'm not sure.
I think it really just depends on your playstyle.
Mm-hmm.
If you're more of like a passive or defensive player, um, then like the defensive players like Watson and Caustic would be great because then you can see people coming. I personally would prefer that you actually use him as like an aggressive. A lot of the players that I played against that were using him are more of the aggressive standpoint. They were I'm seeing him paired with Valkyrie, um, Octane. Biggs and I used Octane and him, and actually got a win today. Uh, I guess anything that's really like an aggressive play style, especially with Octane's jump pad, and then you know where you're going. Maybe even like if you're doing a trio, like a Revenant, Octane, and Seer, because that was like a big meta group. I think last season, the season before that was Bloodhound, Octane, and Revenant, especially in like higher end ranked. So, um, especially I would especially pair him with a group that you need to know where your enemies are, so you can put those shots in. So yeah, that's what I would recommend is probably Octane, Revenant, Seer, maybe
Cool.
even like a
Mm-hmm.
Caustic and Bangalore because with their smoke and gas,
Yeah.
and then him being able to put the enemies on outlined for you would be a good combo too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like anytime that you can basically create, and can your teammates see the outlines too, or is
Yeah.
it okay?
Mhm. Yeah, and the whole health bar and stuff too. I
Mhm.
actually didn't play Seer. I gave it to Biggs because
Mm.
I'm a sweaty octane main. Supposed to be the TTV octane main with
Gross.
with the PKs and the R99s. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
the new gun,
mhm.
you're saying it's a new LMG.
Yep.
What does it fire again?
It's heavy, heavy ammo.
It's heavy.
It is a slower shooting. It's slower than the Spitfire.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you can put a thermite grenade into it, and it will increase the rate of fire. Even with the increase with the thermite, I don't think it shoots as fast as the Spitfire.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely hits harder than the Spitfire.
Gotcha.
So
So would you combo that with another heavy gun then? Combo that with like a Hemlock or a Prowler
it,
or something like that?
it's a pretty straight shooter, like even with it ramped up.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I would use it as your medium to long range.
Okay.
I threw when I was using it, I put a 3x on it
Mm-hmm.
and was using it as like a mid range. And I paired it with a 99.
Gotcha.
So, to me personally, I don't think it replaces my favorite, my top pick weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely something like if I had to choose like on the ground between Mozambique and the Rampage, I'm gonna pick the Rampage, of course.
Yeah.
So
So left side. Any thoughts, opinions you want to share here?
I should be jumping into the new Apex season tomorrow, so I'm excited to try it.
it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it today.
I'm
Nice.
actually most excited to try ranked arenas
Yeah. Oh
Mm.
yeah, that dropped today. This season too. I forgot that.
because arenas has always been kind of I've enjoyed arenas a little more than the BR. Like the BR's a great time, but I've always been more of an arena shooter like Valorant, CS:GO, Halo. So I'm excited to try that out and see how that goes.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else that we want to add to Apex Legends? No? All right. Well, let's go on ahead and take a quick break. Then we'll come back. We have AMD, the 6600 XT announcement that we need to talk about, some updates surrounding Activision Blizzard and Ubisoft, as well as deals of the month. All of that coming up after the break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay right there. All right, and we are back. Took me a second there to get it unmuted, but we're all good.
Pressing buttons is hard.
They are.
It's
Greeley,
tough. It's real
Yeah.
tough.
get in your tech corner.
Green's Tech
Okay.
Corner.
I can't hear the tech corner thing. So
I know. You're good to go.
I don't know when it's done. Okay.
You're good.
So AMD has announced their Radeon RX 6600 XT, which is an RDNA 2 chip graphics card, mainly built for like the small form factor and ITX builds, but not like a massive announcement. This is more of like a budget friendly card, especially for if you're looking for like a small form factor. They are a few articles that I read. They said that they are going to be operating at a 1900 megahertz base clock, and then a game boost or a boost clock of 2500. We're still like, it hasn't been like sent out to people who like actually test clock speeds and stuff like that. So this is just like, essentially rumored. I know that ASRock is also producing like a Challenger RTX card for it. But as I said, this is more of like a small form factor, like a smaller size GPU. It mainly for the 1080p gamers. But yeah, there's not like, I don't want to say like a huge. It's 8 gigs of DDR6 though. So this is definitely gonna perform better than like a lot of like older cards. This is definitely not like a 3070 or 3080 card by any means. But it is gonna be available. They're suggesting the price at $379 from AMD. So
That's rather affordable.
yeah, it's very affordable.
Yeah.
Which I mean, technically that's also like a little bit less than the MSRP for the 3060 cards that you are like, if you want to get your hands on, are going to be like $800 right now, $900. So it'll have to be interesting to see if the scalpers like actually pick this up, and if there's going to be like a huge markup on these, especially with like data mining kind of dying down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then with the semiconductor shortage, I don't know if I don't know how big the stock is going to be for these cards, but if you're in the market and you can get your hands on one, and you're looking for something that is relatively affordable, this might be the card for you.
Mm-hmm. So there is a question in the chat, and I do feel like this is a really good question to ask: is what would the NVIDIA equivalent be for this card?
For this gen, I would say probably the 3060. If it's like the 2000 series, the closest I would say is probably the 2070 or maybe even the 2080. Honestly, it would probably fall in line around the 2080.
Is this GDDR6?
Yes, as far as I'm aware, it's gonna be DDR6.
So the 1660 is GDDR5. So not that there's a terribly huge difference there, but
Yeah, I mean the 1660 Ti. The best part about it was when it came out, when MSRP'd, it was cheap. DDR5.
Yeah. I think this
So-
would be a great one. I mean, I think you could probably build a single PC streaming PC, like a budget entry rig if you wanted to with this, or you could build a second PC with it easily. Like it's a really good price and a really decent. Obviously, we haven't benchmarked it yet and seen the cards, but I was looking at some stats earlier, and the 2080 Ti is only 34% more effective. Well, that's still a lot when you look at the price points. It's kind of great actually for that price point for that card.
Yeah. And then like, especially right now, you can't even like a 1650 is going for like $400. A 1660 Ti or even the 1660s I've been seeing go for like $800, which is insane because they came out at like 200. I think I bought mine at $230.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the market's crazy. So hopefully the market doesn't make these overly crazy.
Yeah. So kind of like since we're talking about it, there has been a little bit of news that we haven't really talked about in terms of the graphics cards market. Mostly things haven't changed a ton for consumers or for customers trying to buy cards right now. But the Chinese Communist Party has started cracking down on crypto mining for energy conservation. For those who are listening, I put some quotations around that. Yeah, energy conservation is their concern, which I'm sure is probably a valid concern, but that's not the main concern that they're worried about when it comes to.
They're not getting their fair share.
Yeah, that's not the concern they actually have when it comes to cryptocurrency and crypto mining. So they cracked down on that, and almost immediately we saw a dip in value of cryptocurrency, and we started seeing people buy up less cards because the value had dipped. We'll see if that trend continues. It hasn't really affected availability at all because it's not just the crypto market that has availability in shambles. There's the fact that people still need to work from home and people still want computers for work and for other things. Work in school, people still need all that stuff. And
There's also
go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a lot of people that like are still on like the 10K series that have been wanting to upgrade for a while.
Yeah.
With the launch of the 3K series, so
yeah. So there's a lot of reasons why availability is really still shot. And while a lot of analysts that I've been listening to are optimistic that 2022 will bring better times, I don't know. And I'm not an expert. I'm not in any sort of position to say otherwise. But we hadn't really shared that. If anyone was curious as to why we hadn't, it was just because it didn't seem like it was. I wasn't seeing a lot of change in effects. For the end of the market.
Another thing to look out for with this card is whether or not it's actually going to come with the with AMD's equivalent to the NVIDIA Reflex with the boost. I know they unveiled it with their last time we talked about their new cards during I don't remember the last time that they had a big thing about their new cards,
like, big keynote or whatever.
Yeah, it was during I don't want to say it was the Future Game Show, but it was like, man, I can't think of it now. What they were talking about their new essentially Reflex equivalent.
Yeah, I don't recall either. I'm sure you'll recall it like in
at the in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
like 2 a.m. just staring at my bedroom ceiling. Like, that's what it was.
That's what it was. Your fiance will be sleeping next to you and be like, "What?" Okay, anything else on the AMD 6600 XT?
AMD making moves.
AMD do be making moves.
I like seeing AMD make moves because I am, in the corner of Team Red for the most part.
Yeah.
Especially in CPUs.
So AMD seems to be moving forward, but you know who doesn't? Ubisoft. Let's talk about Activision Blizzard, and then we'll get into some Ubisoft stuff. So, and I kind of mashed these two together because they really are the same story, right? These two stories are the exact same in so many ways. So before delving into Ubisoft's fuck-ups, let's talk about Activision Blizzard and things that have changed over the last week. So today, like breaking news today, J. Allen Brack, the now former president of Blizzard, has announced his departure, as well as the head of HR is leaving Activision Blizzard today. Last week, the aforementioned walkout was staged and happened. Bobby Kotick sent out an email to all employees that said, quote, "Our initial responses to the issues we faced together and to your concerns was quite frankly tone deaf." End quote. Gee, you think? You think? You turned a woman's suicide into a rhetorical battering ram on fucking California. You think that was a little tone deaf? Maybe just a little bit? Quote, "We are taking swift action to be the compassionate, caring company you came to work for and to ensure a safe environment." I can't even get through that statement without laughing. "There is no place anywhere at our company for discrimination, harassment, or unequal treatment of any kind." I will say that a lot more details did come out about specific allegations, about certain people, but they really have very little bearing on what we have already said on the show, to be quite honest. So yeah, left side, being green got quite a bit out last week. What are your takes on the Activision Blizzard stuff? Just so you can get it off your chest if you want.
I hope the whole company burns. Like, I feel bad for the developers, but I hope they get to go somewhere that actually cares, that actually does a good job, that values their employees and doesn't treat them like absolute shit. I don't think Blizzard has done anything impressive in the last, 5-6 years anyway. Their treatment of women is deplorable, and they've been tone deaf for years. They've been doing the bare minimum and saving face for years. And I really hope that some other developers who aren't shit can step up, give these developers a home, and Blizzard just tanks. I know they're not going to. That's my hope.
That is a take. That is a take. So, with that, and Activision Blizzard trying to repair their reputation, let's take a look at Ubisoft and how they're doing, because it's been well over a year since a very similar scandal broke over there, right? We covered it on the show. So let's see if Ubisoft can lead by example for the industry. Late last week, 500 members of Ubisoft staff sent an open letter in support of Activision Blizzard employees protesting, which read, to quote, "To the workers of Activision Blizzard, we hear you and we want to loudly declare our solidarity with you. Over the past week, the games industry has once again been rocked by revelations that have long been known to many of us. Revelations that a year ago many were hearing about Ubisoft. It is clear from the frequency of these reports that there is a widespread and deeply ingrained culture of abusive behavior within the industry. It should no longer be a surprise to anyone, employees, executives, journalists, or fans, that these heinous acts are going on. It is time to stop being shocked. We must demand real steps to be taken to prevent them. Those responsible must be held accountable for their actions." End quote. After expressing solidarity with their peers in the industry, they went on to discuss Ubisoft's failures over the last year, which, for those who need a refresher on Ubisoft and their scandal, it includes race and gender-based discrimination, abusive workplace culture, and other forms of misconduct. Quote, "We, the undersigned, have had enough. It has been over a year since the first revelations of systemic discrimination, harassment, and bullying within Ubisoft came out. At the time, you acted surprised to hear of these acts going on within your own company, and we gave you the benefit of the doubt. However, We have seen nothing more than a year of kind words, empty promises, and an inability or unwillingness to remove known offenders. We no longer trust your commitment to address these issues at their core. You need to do more." And that statement, of course, is directed at Ubisoft leadership. The signees, signatours of the letter, also allege that managers and other, quote, known offenders, end quote, have been allowed to resign, transferred, or in some cases have been promoted from the areas where they have caused issues, and employees are demanding that the known offenders be fired instead. They also call for an industry-wide collaboration to deal with what they call an industry-wide issue. Quote, "This collaboration must heavily involve employees in non-management positions and union representatives. This is essential to ensure that those who are directly affected by these behaviors are leading the charge." Now, let's be fair. Let's see what Ubisoft had to say for themselves. And they responded with this. Quote, "We have carefully read the letter signed by former and current Ubisoft employees. We have a deep respect for the engagement of our teams who are pushing for changes within our industry. We have to be very clear that we take this letter and the issues it raises very seriously. Over the past year, we have committed to engaging with our employees to enact fundamental changes. Many of these changes have been driven by internal feedback and insights shared by our teams, and we are grateful for this ongoing communication. Ubisoft has made significant and meaningful changes that seek to create a safe and inclusive work environment for all, and there is still more work to be done. We absolutely stand behind these efforts and the positive impact that they have had on our company culture, while also recognizing that we must continue to engage with our employees to ensure that we are creating a workplace where they feel valued, supported, and most importantly, safe." End quote. Employees are still vehemently disagreeing, pointing to the management who still have positions of power, like I mentioned. And they say that morale and trust is low. For one person who signed, there are countless others who simply are too terrified, do better, or keep losing good people. So, by all metrics, it seems that Ubisoft, at least by the standards of their employees, are continuing to fail to address the issues that were brought up a year ago. Really, it should be happy that Activision Blizzard is fucking up so terribly right now, because that provides good cover for Ubisoft. I don't think people are really mad that Ubisoft hasn't changed that much, because they're angry at Activision Blizzard right now. It seems like they're providing pretty good cover. Let's go around the horn. Let's get some perspectives on the screen. What are you feeling?
I don't really know how to feel. I've been off of Ubisoft for a good while, which is sad, because I'm a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed line. And I find it interesting that, they're still having a lot of issues, like even a year from now, like, or a year from when it was first known. I mean, I had a field day when we covered the story a little over a year ago, about them just essentially moving the problem and not like actually addressing the problem. Coming from an HR background, that drives me nuts. Like, that normally wouldn't fly in like a corporate standpoint. It's just to take someone who is causing issues and just putting them into a new place for for them to cause issues in the new place. Like that. That's how lawsuits happen.
Yeah,
you're not helping anyone.
I think there's the creative fallacy, or I'm sorry, there's a fallacy around creative people in corporate positions, where there's the idea that you have unique talents that can't be replicated, right? Like a movie director, right? They can't be you can't change the movie director and have the same product. You can't change the radio programmer and have the same product. You can't change.
Is that creativity worth the issues?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm making. Is that first off, you certainly can. You can get the same product, right? It might be, there might be slight changes, but the product is still going to be quality, and it's still going to be what audiences want. And it's not worth the HR and PR disaster that you've seen.
Not only is these are real people, when your actions directly affect literally the lives of your employees, that shit needs to be taken seriously. If you're a horrible person and you're managing people horribly, that has the potential to screw over so many other people's lives, and to just let that slide because of their their creative power. There's nothing worth more than the price of human life. And to see people enjoying themselves and genuinely enjoying where they're working versus treating them like shit and then getting bad product from treating them like shit. It's not okay.
Yeah. Left side, what do you think about the Ubisoft stuff?
I don't follow that as much because of what happened last year. I kind of just tuned Ubisoft out. I have been following Bungie closely for a long time, and they've been doing initiatives to try and change at least the culture. If there ever was harassment, they admitted, hey, we're not a perfect company. People might have faced it at some point, but we're doing a lot to change that and make sure it doesn't happen. So while there are companies out there that are terrible, there are other game devs that are working to combat that. And I think a lot more attention needs to be celebrated for those that are doing something. Like Bungie has a bunch of inclusivity things now with women at Bungie and et cetera, et cetera. And when they posted about that, Twitter was like, stop with the virtue signaling. No one cares. Just make games. Shut up. And I think that that's a really big problem that we also don't talk about, is that gaming culture doesn't really seem to want to deal with real world issues. A lot of people do play video games to escape, but that doesn't mean we can just ignore them and move on. So I'm glad you guys are talking about it, because it is a problem. And the gaming mentality, the gamer mentality is toxic for the most part. There's a lot of very immature people who are very good at hiding behind a keyboard and monitor. They're great at it. You don't ever have to see their face. You don't have to hear what they say. But, well, it frustrates me to no end and pisses me off that women and people of color are getting treated lesser for no reason other than that's the way it's always been. I'm glad to see other companies actually stepping up and trying. It's going to take a lot to change. Like, this isn't going to be some overnight thing. There's not going to be one simple change like, oh, we put new people in charge. It fixes it. That's not going to fucking do anything. Look at Ubisoft, Blizzard, as an example. Change it's going to take time. And I know that sucks and people don't want to hear that, but it will. It's not going to be instant. There's still going to be fuck ups. But they need to at least be trying to change. They need to be putting forth the effort, and it doesn't seem like they're going to. Yeah. Blizzard has slowly been going downhill. Ever since Activision, someone in chat talked about it, ever since they joined Activision, it has been a shitstorm. And it might have been bad before that. I don't know. But it's been worse. So, Ubisoft, all these companies, they really just need to... I would like to see them just say, hey, just fire these people. Just like the employees said, don't give them any severance pay. Don't give them a package. Don't give them a couple $1 million, which we know is going to fucking happen. We're like, oh, sorry, we have to let you go, buddy. We're going to really miss you. And as we put another puppet in charge. I don't see change happening. And I think that a lot of gamer culture will embrace change not happening because they don't care. They just want to play their game, and it's all about self. It's all about me. And I don't. This makes me uncomfortable, so I don't want to talk about it, and I don't want to have to deal with the problems of the real world. I don't know. It's a rough state to be in, and
Yeah. So, I mean, here's my perspective. With it, with Ubisoft not looking like it's in any better shape than what it was a year ago, and it seems that Yves Guillemot and his fellow executives want to keep fucking around. I'm just, and they're not repairing the reputation. They're not repairing the culture that they have. I think that's fine. Fine, Ubisoft. You wanna keep fucking around? I don't need to play the new Tom Clancy game that you're putting out, regardless if it's free or not. And I don't need to play Far Cry 6. I'm sticking to my guns on that.
I think that's smart. I think a lot more gamers should talk with their wallet.
I said that when we talked about this, right? I will not buy the new Far Cry game unless things changed, and they haven't. They haven't changed. They haven't, right? Like, to your point, right? Like, changes take time, but there's some immediate changes you can make, and that is things like firing people, right? If someone is a known offender in your organization, someone who is known to consistently make sexual remarks to employees, who make racist remarks to employees, who are unprofessional at work functions with alcohol, right? That was part of the problem with Ubisoft and Activision, right? Where employees would, at work functions where alcohol was served, would be maybe a little too friendly, or maybe their lips were a little too loose, or they would, in the case of Ubisoft, I heard that they would, there was a culture of peer pressure in terms of drinking and trying to get other employees intoxicated, right? Those are things that can be easily remedied by removing these people, right? You don't need, no one is expecting all brand new policies and initiatives to to be fully implemented within a year. But cutting the cancer out is a pretty fucking imperative thing that you need to do. Right? Yeah. And that's what it is. It's a cancer. It's a cancer on your organization. It's a cancer that drains energy. It's a cancer that drains resources. It's a cancer that will ruin teams, right? It will to continue on with the allegory here. It will necrotize the flesh, right? It will destroy the flesh. It will make things weak. And it's a simple thing to cut that out of the organization, and they should have done it already. Instead, they've just moved it.
Yep. Until they fire people, it's not going to matter.
Yeah. And until people start saying things are a lot better at Ubisoft, that the people have been removed, that people are happier, people feel safe, people feel respected, right? I don't need to play Far Cry 6. I don't need to play the new Tom Clancy game.
I don't need to play Overwatch 2 or a remake of Diablo or whatever.
Yeah.
Slightly updated graphical game and unoriginal bullshit Blizzard comes out with next.
Green.
Yeah, I was really, really looking forward to Assassin's Creed Valhalla too. They had announced the game and stuff, and I was super hyped for a Viking Assassin's Creed, and then the story broke out about their sexual harassment stuff, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna spend money on a AAA title where the people building the game had to suffer, and that doesn't help them by spending the money to purchase this game, because it's only cementing the roots that is okay. That's my biggest thing, is people are well, I mean, it's not going to change anything if one person doesn't buy the game. Well, that's true. If everyone went by that mentality, then it would continue the cycle. If everyone if a certain amount of people decided not to purchase the product because the company is shit, they would actually feel the effects of it.
And
So
there is something to be said for, as I've described it, ethical consumption, right? You making the conscious choice to consume ethically is an important part. And I understand, like, and I would 100% agree that you can't always make like 100% ethical choices in all of your consumption, right? But there are areas where you can, and you should, at certain levels, try to make those conscious decisions, right? Like, when it comes to like food, I agree. It's super fucking hard to make like those ethical consumption choices of like, gee, can I buy shrimp? Were these shrimp like having to be peeled by like child labor, or stuff like that? Like, there's a lot of it, but in terms of video games, I think it's a really fucking easy decision to make. Right? This isn't like your food. This isn't like a car part that you need in order to continue driving to work so you can continue paying off your debts and going to like paying your bills and keeping the electricity and stuff, right? This is video games. This is your entertainment. If you can't make ethical choices in your purchases with video games, what can you do?
it sends a message when enough people do not spend their money on something because of an issue within the company. If a company is too deaf to a situation, like senior executives sexually harassing female employees, like they will correlate that with a decline in sales. I mean, a decline in player base. WoW lost a lot of players because of the whole Blizzard issue and the lawsuit that was brought onto them. And you can't tell me that they didn't notice that. Like,
I'm not
oh
going to
no, it's
start
fine.
firing people until you hit them where it hurts, and that's their
Yeah,
wallet.
it's always going to be the
Unfortunately,
wallet.
Yeah. So I feel like at this point we're just being redundant.
yeah.
And
I will say one thing though.
yeah.
One thing real quick with playing Destiny and being in that directory a lot on Twitch. I have 2 developers that have stopped from Bungie that have stopped by to just say hi and chat. And I don't think that when they post stuff on their Twitter, they are just virtue signaling. Because both of these people I would consider friends and I've had personal conversations with. One's a UI designer. I had another one that was a tester show up. And I want to come back to this. Like, if we can find other developers, I know there are other good ones out there. I know I'm not just going to praise Bungie. I'm a Bungie fanboy. So, of course, I'm going to like them. But we need to find other devs that are good and lift them up, even if it's small indie devs, even if it's whatever, even if you like, if there's an entire team of like female devs, I think that would be amazing. Or I'd love to see I would love to see games made by minorities, people of color, whatever. And I would like to see those supported. And speaking with your wallet that way too is also important. As much as we're harping on the negatives of this, I really do want to talk about the positives, because that is also very important to lift up these companies that are doing the right thing, and not just, a lot of times in our culture, we like to be negative, we like to complain, we like to attack things. Because being encouraging, being uplifting, being supporting is difficult. It takes more energy than just being angry and upset, even though I think at the end of the day, being angry and upset takes a lot more energy. In the moment, it takes less. But like, I would like to see more companies involved with charity, St. Jude, all that stuff. And I think Bungie is a very good example of that.
I think Respawn's done a lot too.
Spawn as well.
Especially like with Apex, they put like the Black Lives Matter badge and
People in those companies that actually do care. Well, some of the higher ups might be like, "Oh, this is a good move for business." A lot of people are like, "No, this is a win. We actually like this." So I do want to say like well, it may seem like it. There are a lot of employees that work for these companies, like the people that stopped by my chat, which I was just like, "Whoa, you're an actual dev. That's super cool." But it does start at the bottom, and people are making initiatives to try and change these companies and actually work on the culture that is so terrible.
Yeah. So after bringing ourselves down, let's bring ourselves up a little bit with some deals of the month, some things that we can use to lift our spirits.
Deals of the month.
So, deals of the month, starting with Twitch Prime, which of course, or I guess Amazon Prime Gaming. If you guys have Amazon account and connect your Amazon account to Twitch, your Amazon Prime account, I should say, you can get one free sub a month, which you can use on Mr. Green Leader or Left Side or RevSven. So go on ahead and spend that free sub on those guys. But you also get a bunch of free games. They give away a bunch of free games. And so ending on August 4th, you can get Battlefield 1 on Origin. So if you haven't picked up Battlefield 1, go on ahead and get that right now. You can also get Battlefield 4 on Origin until September 1st. Lost Horizon 2 until September 1st. Or normal Lost Phone and another Lost Phone, Laura's Story, until September 1st. Planet Alpha. You guys want to take a guess on when that one is?
October 35th.
35th. I like the
35th. I was going to say the 32nd, but my brain was like, nope.
September 1st. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. You can get until September 1st. Metamorphosis until September 1st. And Secret Files Tunguska until September 1st, all on Twitch or on Amazon Prime with gaming. Humble Bundle has a couple bundles starting out, and of course we are Humble Bundle affiliates, so if you guys use our affiliate links, you will help support the show, put a little bit of money in Green's pocket, help him pay some of his bills. Starting with the Hearts of Iron bundle, 8 items for $25, that ends on August 4th. RPG Heroes, 6 items for $10, ends on August 13th. Sakura Series bundle, 16 items for $12, ends on August 6th. Take Control bundle, which is a bunch of flight sims and stuff. You can get 9 items for $12. That ends on August 4th. The 2 Point Hospital sale ends on August 4th. The 1C Publisher sale ends on August 5th. WB Games Publisher sale ends on August 8th. And Civilization 6 sale ends on August 5th. Moving on to GOG, they have a weekly sale that includes 90% off on some titles including Grim Dawn, Frostpunk, Spore, the Secret Files series, the Lost Horizon series, Age of Wonders, Oddworld, and more. So the Lost Horizon series, there is two times where you can get that right now. GOG, you can get it for really cheap, or if you have Amazon Prime, you can get that for free, which is pretty dope. Going on to the Epic Games side of things, there is the Epic Summer Sale, which ends on August 5th, and you guys can use creator code REVSVEN, REVSVEN, at checkout to help support Rev Out. You guys can, so that ends on August 5th. Ending on August 5th, you can get Mothership and Train Sim World 2, so 2 games for freezies that you can get. And then starting on August 5th and ending on August 12th, you can pick up A Plague Tale Innocence and Speed Brawl. So, yeah, that's what you guys can pick up in the PC gaming space. Anything there that sounded interesting to you guys?
Speed Brawl sounds cool.
I love trains, so Train Simulator actually sounds awesome.
I have never seen an Indiana Jones game, so
Yeah, that could be neat too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is a
Especially if
Lucas. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, especially if it has like a rotoscope to like Harrison Ford, but like 80s Harrison Ford, and then like as you progress through the game, it slowly becomes like the last Indiana Jones movie where it's like old Harrison Ford. That would be great. That's money ideas right there. Hit me up, Disney. Disney. I have ideas.
um, Green. What's coming up on the PlayStation side of things?
PlayStation has 3 games again. For the month of August, it is Plants vs. Zombies, a battle for the Neighborville on PS4, and then Tennis World Tour 2 for the PS4. So, yeah, if you like tennis,
Y'all love
uh,
tennis.
for PS5 and PS4 this month, a lot of the times, usually the PS5 exclusive, it's like it's just PS5, but this month is going to be for both. And it's Hunter's Arena Legends, which I want to say is uh like a like a 3D fighter game, I believe, with like different characters and stuff like that with different abilities. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look in the Hunter's Arena. But yeah, that's the 3 games for PlayStation.
Excellent. What's coming up on PlayStation?
Xbox is
Or I'm sorry,
games
Xbox.
Games
I was
Pass.
like, let's do this again. All right.
I should have.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's
You
interesting.
really
That's all the
should've.
same. Oh, interesting. It's all the same shit. Sorry, Xbox. My bad.
Yeah. So Xbox Games Pass, August 5th, you're getting a few games. Curse of the Dead Gods on console, cloud, and PC. Dodgeball Academia on cloud, console, and PC. Katamari the Macy Reroll. I think that's how you pronounce it. Cloud, console, and PC. Luminous Remastered on cloud, console, and PC. And then Skate for console via EA Play. And then Skate 3 on cloud via EA Play as well. And then Starmancer for just PC on August 5th. Art of Rally will go on cloud, console, PC August 12th. Hades, which is a pretty big title, I think, in terms of popularity, is going on to Games Pass cloud, console, and PC August 13th. And
That's
then
actually pretty hype.
the biggest one here, Microsoft Solitaire Collection Premium Edition for PC August 17th.
Oh boy,
Digital Solitaire, guys. It's the new wave.
it's the new wave.
Solitaire Battle Royale win.
Oh, that'd be great. Like Tetris 99 or whatever. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then also with the EA partnership, August 10th, Ultimate subscribers will get access to Dirt 4, Dirt Rally 2, 2.0, I should say, F1 2020, and Grid. So, but I'm not sure how that works because I'm not a Games Pass Ultimate subscriber.
Games Pass is nuts. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that like Game Pass is the play, especially for PC, plays. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Like, I've had Game Pass for a long time now, and every now and then I'll just be like, man, I just want to play Sea of Thieves again. Boom. I can play Sea of Thieves with my buds. Or Forza. Or any of these games I don't want to spend 40 to 50 bucks on, and I only play it like maybe once or twice a year. Game Pass. And it has all of EA with it too. So if I want to play any of their terrible rebranded sports games, neat. But, there's still a lot of good stuff on there. I mainly use it for Sea of Thieves and Forza and a couple other big titles, but I highly recommend Game Pass especially with Microsoft making moves when it comes to Game Pass. Hades and a bunch of other games coming to it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are some games that are leaving Game Pass as well.
No.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5 is leaving August 8th. Ape Out, Crossing Souls, Darksiders Genesis, Don't Starve, Final Fantasy 7, and Train Sim World 2020 will all be gone August 15th from the Games
That's okay. I just
Pass.
got Train Sim World 2 on Epic for free. I'm not even kidding. I'm going to play that tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh man. Was there anything else we wanted to mention? Deals of the month. I just checked the Nintendo eShop. There's nothing. As always, there's nothing like really big to mention. Like there's not like any like big group sales or bundles or anything like that. There are sales like going on. There are some deals going on, but you can check that out on your own. Like I don't know. Like I'm looking at it and there's nothing really here worth mentioning. Like at all, except for like Overcooked 2 you can get for 50% off.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
on which platform?
Kind of weird.
That was Switch.
There's never really any good Switch sales. Like,
Yeah.
I think like once a year they have a sale and it's like not even that great.
Yeah.
Especially if you want the big titles like Mario and Pokemon. Good luck. I think Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee's been out for what, 2 years now, maybe
Yeah.
3. They're still at full price, $60.
Yeah.
The hell are you talking about? Pokemon like Silver and Gold from almost 20 years ago are still $60, $50, whatever they were called.
Oh, it's worse if you're trying to buy them used now.
Yeah.
Well, if you would have picked them up before Pokemon Go, you would have spent like $20, 15, $20.
That is not true where I'm at.
I used to go like to the thrift stores and pick them up, like use Game Boy and 3DS games, like Pokemon games, and then resell them online. I'd get more
Get
money.
you Pokemon pinball.
So
So, all right. I think that does it for us this week, guys. Left side, go on ahead and tell us what you got coming up on your channel this week and where people can find you.
Tomorrow, should be doing Apex Legends with my buddy Adorable Llama. Thursday, we'll be doing Destiny 2 and doing GM helps where chat can choose our loadouts. GMs are Grandmaster Nightfalls. They're pretty tough and hard to do. And if you want to screw us over, you can pick what guns we use, and it makes it funny but also miserable at the same time. After that, I think I'm going to try and do some 7 Days to Die this weekend with Twitch integration. 7 Days to Die, if you're not familiar with it, it's basically Minecraft zombies, but with the Twitch integration, you can spawn zombies just by watching the stream. And if you kill any of the streamers that are playing, you get a huge reward and jackpot. And I cried laughing last time. It was very funny. The Twitch integration and playing with good people makes the game, because otherwise it's kind of a janky game, but it's a lot of fun. So we'll be doing that. Maybe I might try out Train Simulator. I'm not even kidding. So we'll see what other games they're going to throw in, but mainly Apex, Destiny, and 7 Days to Die right now. Maybe some Civilization. Maybe Age of Empires one night. Who knows?
Ooh, Age of Empires.
Open
Age of Empires 4. I'm so excited.
Green, what's coming up on your channel?
I'm not sure yet. I'm probably gonna be playing some Apex. I know we are kind of slated for like a weekend hunt stuff, maybe,
Possibly.
possibly. We'll see. As for like the regular, like my regular stream, like daytime streams, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I've been off for almost 3 weeks, and today was my first stream back in that time. So right now I'm just kind of like, what do I do? How do I do this? What am I doing? Like, who are these people? You know, the random kind of shit. I feel fresh, so I'm not sure. But you can catch me on twitch.tv/Mr. Green Elite. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. What else? Socials, TikTok, and OnlyFans at Mr. Green Elite. True story. Never posted anything on OnlyFans. but I still have one.
Excellent. Coming up for me, let's see. This week I'll probably dive into Apex like maybe Friday night. Maybe do some Apex Friday night. Maybe then go on to some Hunt Showdown Saturday, or maybe reverse them, and then hopefully more Metro Exodus on Sunday night. I'm enjoying the game so far. I hope to do a review here soon because I do have some thoughts on the game. So keep joining me Sunday nights on that. So yeah, Friday night Apex or Hunt. Saturday, whatever one I don't play then, and then Sunday we're going to play some more Metro Exodus. Other than that, guys, you can follow me on Twitter, at DaniCae, DANIECAE, Instagram under the same handle. You guys can also find me on YouTube, DaniCae Media, also on TikTok under that name as well, even though I don't really post all that often. And that's going to wrap it up. Guys, thank you for joining us this week. We appreciate you guys taking the time to join us, watch, and listen. It really, your time is super valuable, and it really means a lot to us that you take that time to listen and watch. Don't forget the question of the week this week, and that is pancakes or waffles. And I want to see a bloodbath in those YouTube comments this week. I really want to see you guys, going at it over pancakes or waffles. So let us know in the YouTube comments. Don't forget that we do have a meme contest going on right now. Make a meme related to the podcast. Post it to Twitter using the hashtag NTN3. The first place winner gets a $60 gift card to the platform of their choice. And the runner-up gets a free mug from our merch lineup this year. Again, make a meme. You guys can enter as many times as you want. NTN and the number 3. If you missed any part of the show, you guys can watch us on YouTube, listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. If you guys want to help support the show, the best way you guys can do that is by leaving a like, subscribing, and commenting, or just by telling your friends. Those are some great ways to help support the show. It really does mean a lot to us. Other than that, guys, have a great week. Keep fighting the good fights, and we'll talk to you guys again next week. Goodbye.
I love you.
Good night.